to me over the past few weeks. Everything should be working according to plan. There's the Open Series running as it should be, and there's Pacific Elite. There's the audio, it's working as it should. The chat's up, the stream's up, we're all good to go. And it's overcast for this qualifying session here in Mexico as well. We might see some rain, so we'll get the introduction out of the way as quick as possible. Hello everyone and welcome to round 14 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your lead commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. Located within the nation's capital city, Hermanos Rodriguez is a 4.3 kilometer, 17 turns circuit that was created in 1959. It's a demanding circuit that has quite a lot of stuff to deal with over a relatively short lap. You have long straights with DRS zones that lead into turns 1, 4 and 12. These sections provide the best overtaking spots on the circuit, and ideally you'd like the car to have low wings to be as fast as possible on the straights. But then the middle sector brings about probably the most difficult S section on the whole Formula 1 calendar, except for maybe the Jeddah or COTA. Its high speed, low grip and auto spin curbs are dotted throughout. There is no margin for error here. Ideally, you want tall wings to provide more downforce to carry increased speed through the bends. So, the drivers will need to try and find the balance between raw straight line speed and corner speed through their car's setup. To cap it all off, in the final sector, there's the tight, technical and personally infuriating arena section that has created drama and steward reports every time we do a safety car restart here in Mexico City. Hopefully we won't see any of that sort of drama tonight. Now, before we fully focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from the previous race in Imola. There has been no steward reports from last week, so that's really good news. Not so good news for the Drivers' Championship, because our championship leader, ACW, as you can clearly see on the left-hand side of your screen, is not attending this race. He, I believe, has a fractured ankle. I think ACW is watching in the chat. I'm sure you can confirm that for us. And I also believe you recently had surgery as well on that ankle. So, and I also hear you're still in hospital as a result. No, that's a massive blow for you, buddy. Hope you recover well with that injury. But yeah, a bit disappointing to not have you here competing for the Drivers' Championship. I suppose the silver lining to that is that you are indeed in the lead on 294 points, followed by F1 Ferrari Pro on 270. This is F1 Ferrari Pro's opportunity to really try and close the gap between himself and ACW. If he wins the race here tonight, he will overtake ACW as the leader of the Drivers' Championship. But if he falls short, even by finishing second, he will stay behind ACW heading into the final round at Abu Dhabi. Unless, of course, he finishes second with fastest lap. That's the one exception. Outside of the top two, we have Plevs P3 still mathematically in contention on 240 points. He's 54 behind ACW and I believe 30 points behind Ferrari Pro. Outside of the top three, we have Silderfort P4 on 157 points, followed by Roscoe Arm on 152. Then we have Pump P6, followed by GeForce Pato, Bags Liddell, BPV8, and Hilles completes the top 10. In the Constructors' Championship, Alfa Romeo are leading on 446 points, followed by McLaren on 349. With the gap as big as that in the championship, Alfa Romeo have realistically wrapped up the Constructors' Championship. Not quite mathematically, but in terms of a literal sense, they've done it. Because if McLaren don't outscore Alfa Romeo by 50 points or more, Alfa Romeo becomes Season 6 Pacific Elite Teams champions. That's quite a big haul of points they need to score over Alfa Romeo. 50. It's a lot. Ferrari are third on 324, followed by Mercedes on 241, then Red Bull on 235. Completing the table, we have Aston Martin, followed by AlphaTauri, Haas, Williams, and Alpine at the bottom of the order. But with everything out of the way, I can now introduce my co-commentator for tonight, and once again, it's KD1997. KD, it's nice to have you alongside me once again. What's your general thoughts about this racetrack here in Mexico?
Well, Mexico's okay. It's not really my favorite track in the world, per se. I don't like the S section. It's a nightmare on pad, because obviously I am a pad driver, and it is a wretched area of track to go through, indeed. But, I mean, there's some cool areas. The first area I do enjoy. But, yeah, the Flower Soul, like you mentioned in the intro, it's just meh. Nothing too significant about it. Is it infuriating? Well, maybe I wouldn't say in my opinion. Like, I know you don't like it, as I've clearly heard you in the past. I just don't really care about it. It just doesn't really just wow me. But it's not a bad circuit overall.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, as some people may know, I've never been a massive fan of this racetrack. It's always infuriated me in some shape or form. But I won't deny this racetrack is capable of making some interesting racing. It's not a boring racetrack, commentary-wise, spectator-wise. It's just a bit of an infuriating track, driver-wise. Just that high-speed S section on a pad is a nightmare to deal with. You've got the auto-spin curbs at every corner, so if you get it slightly wrong, you spin out and more than likely end up in the barrier. And then you got this tight arena section that I don't have a problem driving around, but I have a massive problem in terms of its concepts in design. It's a very slow, tedious section that creates drama on safety car restarts and lap 1 crashes as well. But it just slows the cars down so the cameras can get a good look at the sponsors. It doesn't really provide anything in terms of racing. That's what I really don't like about it. It could have been a really cool part of the racetrack, but it isn't. So, yeah.
I completely agree with you on that. But yeah, it's just like you could just do a little bit more if you want to. Like, I like the idea of doing it in a baseball stadium, but yeah, this whole hairpin, this scaly bit of the file bit, it's like, why? Why?
It's a big pile of meh. That's all it is. So
yeah,
right in the middle of the baseball stadium. But it is what it is. I'm sure there are safety grounds to it as well for its design, because these racetracks, every racetrack on the Formula 1 schedule, has to meet an FIA Grade 1 certification. So it needs top-notch safety. It needs a massive capacity as well to try and get in as many fans as possible. But yeah, I think they could have done. I hope they can do a little bit better with that little section there. Yeah, it's a bit dull.
Yeah, maybe in the future they will.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We'll see. But we got 12 lap times on the board. We got 17 cars tonight, which is really good to see. Very healthy field for this race in Mexico. We've got a few drivers trying to set flying laps. Got BP making his way through the middle sector now, heading around turns 10 and 11. It is possible to take it flat out, as BP demonstrated through 10 and 11, but you have to be very committed through those corners because the car can step away from you, and at those speeds, you're not gathering it back. You're definitely putting it into a wall when you're flying around those corners at about 260 kilometers an hour. As BP comes out of Peraltada, and he'll set the fastest time with a 1 minute 14.6. I almost called it Peraltella, which is the corner from Imola. Peraltada.
Peraltada, yes.
Where Nigel Mansell made a famous overtake in 1990, I think it was, 1990 Mexican Grand Prix. Driving for Ferrari, he went right round the outside of Gerhard Berger. If you want to imagine what that corner was, basically imagine Parabolica, but almost as a perfect semicircle. That's what the final corner used to be before the arena was introduced. He went right round the outside of Gerhard Berger. It was quite a spectacular move, so much so they actually nicknamed the corner Mansell, which is quite nice. Oh, as G-Force Zach invalidates his lap time at turn 9, cutting too much. We're going to see quite a few warnings tonight, folks. I'm not going to lie. We're going to see warnings. A lot of warnings. Probably a lot of time penalties. This is Mexico. This is what we see. I see Ferrari Pro is sporting a Senna helmet on his car.
Yeah,
nice bright yellow helmet. Oh, he's invalidated his lap. He actually had a rather famous incident here. I think it was 1988, 89, one of those 2 years. I think it was at Peraltada as well, where he hit a tyre barrier and he flipped his car upside down. And he landed head first. It wasn't car first, head first. Because the car was actually shorter than his head sticking out of the cockpit. It's quite scary, actually.
Yeah. Well, it actually makes sense, though, why he's got the Senna helmet. I mean, if you know, this is also the anniversary of...
oh, 1st of May. Yeah.
Yeah, 1994. Yeah.
I only just clocked on to that 1st of May. Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah,
this would be...
May.
what, 28 years ago? 6 years, 22, yeah, it'll be...
28 years,
20 years,
I think.
28 years ago. There you go.
That's insane to think about.
Yeah. But, lots of fans still bring up the incident as Fordy goes up to pole position. It happened 28 years ago. Like, not too many other things that far ago is talked about today, but that's definitely one of the moments that's still talked about today. Is Senna's death at Imola in 1994. Let's see here. G-Force Zach is coming up to the control line. He goes 6th quickest with a 1 minute 15.172, just behind G-Force Pato in the McLaren, who's setting off on a flying lap heading down towards turn 4. Not a bad overtaking spot here at turn 4, but we'll see the majority of overtaking done at turn 1 with its massive DRS zone down the main straightaway. That's another thing we'll see tonight as well, folks. Big DRS trains, and not a lot of action in them as well. Everyone will be stuck, except for the top two. The top two will probably have a scrap here and there. And, yeah, DRS is pretty OP here. Got 2 really long DRS zones back-to-back with no DRS detection zone in between. So, yeah, really long. So if you can get DRS down the main straight, you'll get DRS after turn 3. So, yeah, really long. Mr. Pato here is coming up towards the control line. He will go 5th quickest again, so he doesn't improve position-wise, but he does improve time-wise to 1 minute 14.8, as Fordy has retired in the pit lane with a 14.2. K-Duke making his way out of turn 6, heading down towards turn 7, the beginning of the S section, cutting too much and invalidating. Yeah, we'll see this quite a bit. BP making his way towards the same section. He'll enter turn 7, bringing it down to 6th gear, back on the power, through 8, through 9, up towards 10 and 11. Small lift there at turn 10, back end cooperating just as he heads up towards the middle sector split. He's down still by 58 thousandths of a second. Around the hairpin of turn 13. It's a real crawl through this section. Coming out of the arena now around turn 16 to the penultimate corner. Around turn 17 up towards the line, and he doesn't improve. Misses out by a 10th. Ferrari Pro up by 2.5 tenths in the first sector. He's making his way towards the high-speed S section. Turns 7, 8, the left-hander of 9, into the fast S of 10 and 11, using the full width of the circuit there. DRS open, up towards the middle sector split. He's lost time. He's lost about 300ths or so, as BP has retired on track, I believe, at turn 4.
Yeah, I see the car going slowly there to turn 4.
Yeah, strange. Coming out of the final turn is Ferrari Pro, up towards the line. Still stays 4th fastest with a 1 minute 14.684. It's currently...
4 lap old softs too, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but
Oh,
Yeah,
gee
4
whiz.
laps.
Oh, it started to rain. You can see the rain.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing then it's going to be an intermediate start. Because there's no way anyone would do 4 laps on the soft tyre and start on them. Well, there's no way.
Because those tires would be
rooted.
Really bad. Would be bad off the start.
So I'm guessing then it's an intermediate start. And I don't think anyone's going to improve with the conditions like this now. The track temps will be lowering. The grip will be lowering. The times, they'll be increasing. So, yeah, I think this will be the end of qualifying. Nick's retired. We'll see a few more in a few moments' time, I reckon. Yeah, Plebs is coming in. Bags is retired. So it was a shortened qualifying session. The rain has come, I think, about 4 or so minutes. Oh, no, it's less than that. It's about 2 minutes, 20 seconds before the end of qualifying. So at least the driver's got a healthy amount of quali and try and set some decent lap times.
But a bit anticlimactic.
It is a bit.
I hate when that happens, really.
But at least it isn't. At least it isn't like dry for like 2 minutes, and then it just switches to rain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
And then you get drivers trying to set times on intermediate tyres. There's Hillers spinning out instead of retiring and just getting on with the race. So.
Well, it seems like Hillers is on a bit of an ice skating rink. Oh dear.
And DRS is already disabled. Wow, that didn't take long.
It took about, what, a couple minutes that did so?
Yeah, so.
Retired on track as well. There Hillers. I can't confirm in the comments section, apparently it is going to rain in the race. For how long, I don't know. I just only see that it's just going to rain. That's it.
I'm just waiting on Mr. Key Duke here to retire from qualifying, and we can.
That's not healthy there.
No.
Key Duke.
But,
Key Duke, sorry.
He's not set a lap time at all in this qualifying session, so as a result, he'll be starting from the back, and he's giving all the Tifosi fans and the Mexican audience a bit of a show. Doing a bit of lawn mowing in his Ferrari. Is this the SF90? The model?
I think so.
It's not the SF1000. That was that was 2020. That was
2020's car.
Yeah.
I think it's the SF90.
And now it's the F175 with the 2022 season. I think. Because it's supposed to be celebrating 75 years.
Is it 175?
No,
I thought it was just 75.
It is 75. That's what I said, wasn't it? I said F175. It's F1-75.
Yeah, okay, that's where you got me confused. I got confused.
Yeah.
No, because I thought you said SF170, like as in 175.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
F1-75. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In celebration of Ferrari, I think it's 75 years of making production cars, I think.
Yeah.
So, Ferrari hitting a lot of milestones.
Yeah, because they first started making cars in the, what, 30s or 40s?
40s.
40s or something like that? Yeah, it was 40s.
I think their first car, don't quote me, I think it was a 155mm, I think. Oh, goodness. That's testing my car knowledge, trying to work out what was their first production car. I think it was a 155mm, I think.
Let's look and see. Since I got my phone
I know most of their road cars, quote unquote, were actually just race cars.
No, it was not a 155. It was a 125S.
125S. There you go.
Yeah, and a 1.5 liter engine.
Right, yeah. So the end of qualifying, G-Force Ford starts on pole position, setting a 14.2. 4/10 in front of BP V8, who will start up alongside Vengeance P3, followed by Ferrari Pro, then Pato P5, then Pump, Silderfort, G-Force Zach, Roscoe and Plebs completes the top 10. Hill is P11, followed by Bags, Nick, Power Sight, Andre, Metz, and Keegdug starting from the back after not setting a single lap time. But P2 down to P, I think that was about P12, it was about 8/10, so the midfield area is pretty close. 40 obviously set a pretty quick lap time, put himself on pole with a 14.2.
Yeah. Well, he only did like, what, 2 laps?
So
hello,
to do that within that time frame, and in these sort of conditions where it's overcast and the track's a bit cooler, yeah, 4/10 in front of everybody else, not a bad effort. But as any racing driver would say, oh, there's always more time. So, but yeah, intermediate conditions probably doesn't look heavy enough for wet weather.
It looks intermediate. Plus, there's no puddles on the track that I could, on the pit line I can see. So yeah, no, it's intermediate. It's definitely for sure.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I don't think we need to run down who's starting on what tyre. Everyone's going to be starting on the intermediates unless it's set to change weather nice and quickly. Whether that's increased rain, so then drivers go onto the full wet tyre, or the rain disappears straight away. Might see some drivers on the slick, so what do you know, everyone's on the intermediate tyres. What a surprise. It's set to be intermediate conditions for a little while at the very least. Not to set to dry up too soon. And it's not going to turn to full wet conditions too soon either, as Metz has been disqualified from the formation lap, and he's going to be stuck a little bit because his tyres will be stone cold. He hasn't been given anywhere near enough time to try and heat those tyres up, so well, best of luck, Metz. Probably going to have a shocking start on those cold tyres, more than likely. Drivers are making their way through the S section now in the middle sector, trying to get a bit of temperature into their tyres. I'm surprised Ford hasn't disappeared down the road. Try and push a little bit, trying to set the conditions. That's something that I've seen some drivers do when they qualify towards the front. They try and push on the formation lap in these sort of conditions to try and gauge how much grip they've got, especially when it's been a dry qualifying. Plevs and Hillers have disqualified themselves, so we've got another two.
Oh dear. Well, those two have had history with one another.
Well, at least they had enough time to try and get some temperature into their tyres.
Fair enough.
As the leaders are now making their way back onto the pit straight. There are the cars that got disqualified from the formation lap, all three of them. And 40, he'll be lining up on the racing line on the outside to turn 1. Whereas BP, he'll be starting on the dirty side of the racetrack, but he has the inside line to turn 1. So if he gets the start spot on, there's a good chance he'll be leading into turn 1. And also prepare yourselves, folks. We're going to see a pretty cool camera shot just after lights out. Everyone's lined up, ready to race. 17 cars in the field tonight. Really nice to see. We have got 36 laps in front of us. We also have 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Mexico City. And I think it's a nice start from our top two. It's a better start from BP, though. Look at him catapult off the line. He is well in front of Ford. Well in front of the whole field as he leads the field down towards turn 1. Into turn 1 we go. Ferrari Pro overshooting turn 1. Running wide. He's now getting consumed by the midfield runners. Overtaking him is GeForce Pato. I'm quite surprised he's only dropped down to 4th. And that's Metz. And off the road is Plebs. He smashes into the DRS board on the inside, the exit of turn 4. And drops down to 11th, make that 10th as he goes around the outside of Bags Liddell. Will he go down the inside here of Rosquam? No, is the answer. Vengeance down to 7th. Make that. Oh, he's battling for 6th place with GeForce Zach. Exiting turn 6, heading towards turn 7. Vengeance gets in front. Zach, can he fight? He can. Can he keep the fight alive, though? The answer is no. He has to settle for 7th. Keegdug overtaking Power Sight. That was for P15. Coming out of the S section now, heading towards the arena section. The final part of the racetrack. So a few drivers changing places. Biggest losers off the start. Vengeance down 3 positions. Plebs, I thought he was going to lose a lot more positions with his mistake at turn 3. He overtakes Roscoe Arm. That was for P9. As Andre overtakes Nick. I thought Ferrari Pro was going to lose more places too.
Wide. Oh, Bags! Oh, sorry, I was watching Bags. My gosh, he nearly had a moment there with Illes there at the final turn.
Try and go for
the back end twice.
Illes with the inside line. Bags with the longer legs, so he gets in front of the Aston. Who's looking back down the inside. There's a battle going on for 5th as well. Into turn 2. Then turn 3. Oh, having to cut the racetrack there. Both cars get through unscathed. That could be a warning for Hilles as well if he's unlucky. It's entirely possible knowing this game. No, a really great start from BP with that inside line. He got all the grip in the world and he shot off down towards turn 1. But he hasn't been able to pull away from G-Force Ford. Very much behind, filling the Haas's wing mirrors. Heading out to the S section towards the arena section. The gap is 3.5 tenths between the top 2. Into the stadium section with Ferrari Pro in hot pursuit. I'm surprised he's still in 3rd. He really overshot turn 1. He had to use a bit of the runoff area on the outside. Unfortunately, with a bit of cooperation from those behind, he only dropped down to 4th, which is where he started. And then he was able to overtake Pato for P3. And he sets the fastest lap as well, showing his pace. Now, it's lap 3 of 36, no DRS obviously, it's still intermediate conditions. Leaders making their way through turn 1 into turn 2. Gap is 4 tenths. 40 cutting plenty of the chicane. He's got to run. Going to use any battery? The answer is yes. In the slipstream, will he go for a move here at turn 4? He's diving down the inside. A late move, locking up. Oh, unfortunately, BP
close.
Leaves plenty of room. So then 40 can take that inside line. BP keeps the lead still.
No. I thought he was trying to go around the outside there at turn 6. He looked like he was going to. Oh,
he's looking here. Can't get it done in turn 7. It's really not an overtaking spot, turn 7. You have to stay behind and wait for the right moment to strike. BP 40 followed by Ferrari Pro in P3. And it's a 1.5 second margin to GeForce Pato in 4th. See 40 all over the back of BP V8. Looking around the outside at turn 13. We're given the inside for 14. They're side by side through 15. And BP gets back out in front. And now Ferrari Pro is well and truly in this. He's right on the back of GeForce Ford as they head out of the final corner to begin lap 4 of 36 here in Mexico City. Vengeance sets a new fastest lap with a 26.8 effectively. Heading down the long main straightaway. Weaving there from 40. Trying to throw off BP into turn 1. But BP remains unfazed. GeForce Pato. He must have did that at the entry to turn 1.
I think he took too much curve. What he did.
Yeah. On the outside? Turn 1?
I think it was... I wasn't on him at the time, but I'm going to assume he probably cut too much in turn 1. Right. Which you can do.
Around turn 6, heading down towards the S section. Bit of lag there for Ford. Into turn 7, the gap's 4 tenths. Behind it, 7 tenths to F1 Ferrari Pro. Metz has overtaken Nick. Nick has dropped down to 17th. Metz up to 16th. Ford already with a time penalty. 3 seconds next to his name after 4 laps. Now, high commentator Formula Endurance here in Mexico. He got 9 seconds over the course of that race. That race was 61 laps long, and there's a spin. It's Nick. Lost the back end. He gets pointed back in the right direction. Gets going. Yeah, over a span of 61 laps, Ford got 9 seconds worth of pens, so I'm sure he'll be aiming to get less than that this time around in a 50% race. And towards T1, 40 not close enough to make a move. Neither is anyone else from the looks of things. Plebs is close, but definitely not close enough to attack into turn 1. If he can try and unsettle Silderfort through this chicane-like complex. Try and have a go at turn 4. Silderfort does a pretty nice job at the exit of turn 3. As I believe Nick got a 3-second time penalty as well. Oh. Plebs a bit braver on the brakes compared to Silderfort. Around turn 5, heading up towards turn 6. There's Silderfort's teammate Zach in front, followed by Pump in the Mercedes-Benz. Silderfort, really nice traction at the exit of turn 6. He pulls away from players who understeers wide at turn 7. Has to cut plenty of turn 8. Through 10. Then 11. Had to cut a lot of turn 10 there. And he's lost time to Silderfort as a result. Hopefully the rain goes away soon. We got a couple of potentially really good battles, but the rain is sort of holding everyone back at this point.
Yeah, the typical weather conditions of just you can have the pace to get close, but you can't do anything about it because of the conditions.
Hopefully, with the new game with F122, maybe the racing could be a bit better in wet weather conditions. With the sleeker cars that are easier to follow, maybe it'll be a bit nicer. Who knows? I've seen a couple of decent races in wet weather conditions, but yeah, typically speaking, it tends to be a bit boring. Everyone goes into their little safety shell. They don't attack one another. They just want to stay behind, let the race naturally go on for a bit, and then try and attack. Hilles is overtaken, Bags of Del as well. That was for P11. I like to stick with this aerial shot, looking over the racetrack through the middle sector. Get to see some of the landscape you don't normally see down in the cockpit view of those Formula 1 cars. As they head towards the arena section, there's a set of tennis courts off to the side there, I just noticed. There's a pair of tennis courts sitting outside the boundaries just before turn 12. Never really noticed those before. That's of all my years of commentating at this track, I never noticed a pair of tennis courts on the outside. Turn 12.
I think there's also a training ground, if I'm correct, right around that area.
Fair enough.
Of course, it's probably, I think, for either, well, I know there's a club in Mexico City, of course, probably also that's something else that the Mexican national team probably uses as well. Maybe. I mean, just theoretically.
This Pump gets a very awkward run at the exit of turn 3. Zach builds up momentum, but not enough to try and attack Pump into turn 4. Just noticed the Mercedes-Benz was awfully sideways at the exit of turn 3. Caught it nicely, though. But now has Zach right behind. Around turn 8, around turn 9. Up towards 10 and 11. Cutting plenty of the racetrack. Using all of the curb. Drivers aren't afraid of using the curbs in these conditions. They don't provide as much of a penalty as in real life racing, where if you breathe on them you spin. Or so they say. Heading out of the arena section around turns 16 and 17. The final pair of corners on the racetrack. And down the main straightaway, now the gap is half a second between the top two, and it's now lap 8 of 36. And Plebs is close to Zach here, so much so he's actually going to pass the Red Bull driver. McLaren showing plenty of straight line speed. Look at Plebs go. Scooting down, and Zach's using battery as well. Try and keep up. So that's how quick that McLaren is. That's geared up to be pretty quick down the straight. You can see Plebs understeering at turn 1. He missed the apex by a little bit there. As Roscoe Arm making moves. Silderfort has to cut the chicane. He cut the chicane, as Fernando would say. He cut... What was it? He cut the chicane.
Cut the chicane.
Fernando.
No, wait. No, it was Checo that said that. I don't think it was Fernando, was it?
Yeah, Fernando at Monza What year was it? 2017?
Oh, 2017, yeah, with Julian Palmer.
Julian Palmer. He got the chicken. He needs to give me back the position. And then the other famous meme with 5 seconds is a yoke.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's right.
Good old Julian Palmer. The Formula 2 champion we all wish to forget. So.
Now he just works for F1 TV.
Yep, providing us with his expert opinion. Now it's up to the audience to decide whether I said that in air quotes or not.
I think I've got an idea what it would be.
No, leave it up to that. You can interpret it in either way.
Oh, BP!
Yeah, it's tight, isn't it, between the top two? Having a good old bish bosh bash.
Yeah, I've been watching those two, just scrapping it out.
Heading down the straightaway towards turn 440. Will he go for it? He's looking again. He gets in front.
He's going for it.
BP has the inside line for 5.
Contact there.
Side by side, heading
40,
towards 6.
Credit to Ford hanging around the outside, though.
Oh.
BP, they're shoving him off the track.
Fair enough. He's got the inside line. Fair enough.
No.
40 will pay him back, though.
That's incredible racing, actually.
Good racing. I like it. Yeah, just the right amount of contact. Like a lot of purists will say, "Oh, you're not allowed to touch one another." Come on. Oh, 40 down the inside again.
Ford.
He's looking left and right to try and make a move around the hairpin. Turn 13. Through this little chicane thingy of 14 and 15. Into 16. 40 looking racing. Meanwhile, Ferrari Pro's just enjoying the show in third. Just watching these two battle.
Oh, he's climbed back up. I mean, he was over a second behind. Now he's just half a second behind.
Thanks to these two. Losing about 2 seconds on that lap, just driving side by side with one another. Around turn 1, towards 2 and 3, cutting plenty of the chicane. Heading down towards turn 4 now. I don't think 40's really in a position to do anything here. You can also see as well, he doesn't have a lot of batteries. Roscoe gets a 3-second time penalty. He's got 22%. BP's got 20 odd. And Ferrari Pro's got 41%. This is quite a natural thing to see at Mexico. Battery is really tough to recover here. Unless you're in the middle of a DRS train, then it's pretty easy to recover. But if you're not in a DRS train, and nobody's in a DRS train at the moment because it's raining, it is quite tough to recover battery. It's a bit like Monaco, where you're just dumping battery constantly. It's tough to get it back.
Yeah, exactly. And there's not a lot of heavy braking zones either.
Yeah, you got
recover all that battery.
You got 1 for, I suppose 12, kind of, not really, sort of.
12's more of a medium braking zone.
Yeah, it's not a big one, so. Yeah,
it's heavy.
It's tough to get it back, and you're spending so much time full throttle down this humongous main straight. Yeah, you're just constantly using battery. And it's not like you can switch it to none either. It's not. When was the last time we had that? Was that F1 2019 when we had that? Or 2020 when we had those multiple ERS settings? Was it 2020?
2018 and 19 it was.
Yeah, 19. Okay. Because then it was replaced by the overtake button, and that was it.
Yeah, thank God they actually did that.
Oh, a bit of a wiggle for Pump again, and here comes Plevs. Right on the back of Pump, heading towards turn 4. He's low on battery as well. He's in single digits. Doesn't go for the send, but Pump runs wide here at 4. Into turn 5, Plevs is going to try and get the over-under done on the exit. He gets the drive. He has the inside line into the hairpin. It's tight. They're side by side, heading out to turn 6. Now Pump,
wheel spin too.
Can he try and fight down the inside here at 7? The answer is no. Plevs just left a little bit of space. Oh, as Roscoe runs wide there at turn 7. Plevs left a little bit of room for Pump in case if he did try and send it into turn 7.
Ferrari Pro's also got a 3-second time penalty, by the way.
Yes, so out of the top 3, only BP hasn't got a pen.
And I'm kind of amazed because I watched a lot of races in this and I've noticed BP's one of the drivers that gets quite a bit of penalties in the past. I'm amazed that he's actually kept it clean, but fair credit. Fair credit. I was that way too a long time ago. I'll try to keep that minimal now.
Yeah. It depends on the racetrack for me.
Yeah, it depends on the racetrack for me too now.
If it were a racetrack, as Zach sends it on pump, side by side, through turn 1, into turn 2. Zach gets a nose in front. It's awkward, out of the chicane, and here comes Roscoe Arm.
Yep, hello Roscoe. Silverport's not far behind either.
In 10th, yeah. So it's a tight fight here. Pump has the inside. Will he go for it? He's trying. Zach gets a nice run through turn 4 and the inside line through turn 5. Silverfort trying to attack, trying to gain position. He's into ninth. Roscoe fights back at turn 6. Silverfort tries to get the traction down on the exit. Gets the car in front, has the inside line for turn 7, so he's now up into 9th place. Nice bit of driving there from the Singaporean driver. An opportunistic move at turns 4 and 5.
Again, good racing at least. I mean, kind of similar to a little bit to Ford and BP in a way.
Speaking of which, heading down the main straightaway now. The gap is 0.4 of a second between the top two. See, Fordy's got a bit more battery compared to BP, and he's going to use it. Looking around the long way into turn 1. Game's giving me a horrible camera angle there for turn 1. And 40 gets in front. They're side by side through turn 3 as 40 gets a time penalty, cutting too much of turn 2. They're heading down the straightaway towards turn 4. 40 has the inside line. He's got the car in front now, heading into turn 4. BP fights around the outside. Into turn 5, they're side by side. BP gets back in front towards turn 6. Ford runs wide. Coming out of the hairpin, the back end stepping out on the Haas, heading towards turn 7. They're side by side into the S section. They're side by side into turn 8, coming towards turn 9. They're still side by side into 10 and 11. BP gets back in front.
What? That is honestly the best, craziest defendant I've seen so far. But fair credit.
Absolutely.
Jeez. Fair credit.
Ferrari Pro is back on the... He's now on the back of this as 40 looking down the inside into 14 and 15. BP will have the inside line for 16.
Goodness.
He won't give 40 too much room. It's tight on the exit. As they come out to the final corner, BP gets back in front. It's now lap 14 of 36.
Oh, that's amazing.
In the slipstream, 40 closing in. There's Ferrari Pro just watching along, looking to the inside this time around. Into turn 1. Will he send it? Yes, he will. BP will try and fight, though. He'll have the inside line for turn 2. And 40 can't do a damn thing about it. He stays in second.
Well, Ford's probably getting pissed at the moment, just knowing that he can't get away past the Great Wall of Hats at the moment.
Down the inside into turn 4. BP fights back into turn 5 and keeps the lead.
Oh, and he prevented Ford to go for the switchback. He took the line that Flash took before that. Yeah, where he took like a wide entry into 5 and then tried to cut in for a switchback. BP just covered it. Very great driving, actually.
Good stuff at the front of the field. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack, it hasn't been too much, but we'll keep an eye on the intervals just in case anything does happen. There might be a battle sprouting between Pump 46 and Roscoe Arm for P8, and maybe between Hillez and Silverford as well for P10. Keep my eyes here as 40's lost time. He's almost a second behind BP now, heading out of the final 2 corners, back onto the main straightaway. It's now lap 15 of 36. 40's got a bit of catching up to do, and he doesn't have a great deal of battery to use either. He's got to catch up through raw speed and not through overconsumption of resources. Well, locking up into turn 1, but he gets the car rotated through 2.
Might be hurting the tires a bit, maybe.
I don't think he'd be too concerned at the moment. I think he'd be more concerned on catching up with BP and trying to pass him at this point. Yeah. They battled hard enough. I don't think tyres are a worry now. Overshooting turn 4 is BP. Ford is now on the gearbox of BP V8's Haas. Around turn 6. Now heading down towards the S section. The demanding S section. As G-Force Zach, it's a 3-second time penalty. Through turn 7, turn 8, into turn 9. Towards 10 and 11, the gap grows just a little bit. Coming out of the S section now. The gap's still about half a second. Ferrari Pro's lost time to the top 2. Just a little bit. Around turn 12, heading towards turn 13.
BP.
And now he's got one. So,
yeah, he was at 2 warnings a few laps ago.
Yeah. So now the top 5, they all have penalties. The only driver inside the top 10 that doesn't is Plevs down in P6. Currently 4 seconds behind Vengeance in 5th. If there's a late race safety car and he still doesn't have any penalties, he'll put himself in a really nice position. A bit like what he did in Formula Endurance. Looking, but doesn't go for the move. 40 is right on the back of BP, heading through the chicane of turns 2 and 3. Heading up towards turn 4, BP pulls away. 40 loses the back end. He keeps the car in check. The rest of the midfield starting to spread out a bit. Battle between Pump and Roscoe is still there. Same with Hillers and Silderfort. They're still pretty close. Not quite as close as the top 2 though. Although, there's one between Pato and Vengeance now, I've just noticed. Just over half a second separate these two for P4 and P5. So this may turn into an interesting battle at some point.
Oh, Vengeance, that's a very awkward line there. At the exit of that S section.
Ran wide?
I cut too much at the exit.
I see.
Like he cut the left side of it.
Yep. Gap is now 7/10 between the top 2. 40 not quite in a position to do anything here. Nice to try and get his... Oh,
Ford's
he's in.
going in.
This is at just before the halfway mark.
Ferrari President and Vengeance in too.
So I'm guessing this is going to be a full intermediate condition race then.
There you go.
I mean, if he's pitting at the halfway mark for new tyres, a few drivers are doing the same. See, Ferrari Pro's pitted onto new tyres, Vengeance has pitted onto new tyres, Zach's pitted onto tyres, Bag's doing the same. Keeg Duke is coming up next, followed by Powerside. So yeah, intermediate conditions all the way through. Okay. Now 40 has a clear track in front of him. He'll be able to push. But how much better will these tyres be compared to the old ones? That is the question. I mean,
keep an eye on the leader gap. I'll that up.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see if the other drivers try and do a full race on their tyres. Maybe Plebs will try and do that. That's a very Plebs thing to do. To try and do the whole race on those tyres. So, it depends how much wear they've got right now. We honestly don't know. Well, we do know they've done about almost 17 laps on those tyres. When BP crosses the line, he's done 17 laps on these tyres. Does he pit? No. Stays out for another lap. Pato, he stays out. Plevs, no, he's coming in. I thought Plevs might try and carry those to the end. As Pump goes into the pit, so does Hillers. Silderfort comes in. There's a lot of drivers pitting in. Onto a new set of intermediate tyres. Rightio, so what did the top 3 do? Did they pit in whenever, or did they stay out?
I'm thinking they're going to have to respond.
Yeah.
I think from the way it's looking, BP's losing a little bit of time to Ford, and if he stays on for a while, he could be at risk of losing out to him. I think, at least.
Fair enough. Well,
yeah.
All it takes is a little bit of time gain for GeForce Ford, and he takes the lead on track. But considering how close the two have been over the course of this race so far, I don't think 40 will just drive away. I think BP has a shot of keeping up and keeping the fight alive for the top 2 places. So, see what he does here.
Yeah,
he's staying out.
Yeah, that's not... He's losing time to Ford, because before that lap was 20.4 seconds, and now it's 19.1. Well, now it's gone down to 18.8 seconds. Yeah, he's losing time.
Pato's pitted. Roscoe stays out, so the only 2 drivers who haven't boxed yet are the top 2. That is it at 40. That's, well, yeah.
That's a clear indication.
Yep.
Fastest lap. That's all you need to know.
So, I don't know. In BP's position, maybe he's going to try and just keep going.
He could try, but I feel like that could be risky. But we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, the gap now, what, is it 18.1 seconds or so?
It's you're close, actually. It's 18.0 seconds.
There you go. So it's tight, and 40's gaining time. I think if BP does pit, he will lose the race lead to Ford at this point.
My only concern is if he goes to the end of the race, how the tires are going to be, though.
Yeah.
That's my only concern for BP.
Still going. He's going to go long, it seems, on those intermediate tires. Might do a little bit of gambling, maybe hope for a VSC or a proper safety car. Into the pits comes Roscoe in the Alfa Romeo. This has stopped pretty nicely. There's his pit stall towards the end of the pit lane.
No, if anything, I probably would say he would need a VSC more than a safety car, because if he gets a safety car, Plush's going to have a chance of winning the race, like you mentioned earlier, because he has still no penalties.
Yeah, that is true.
So, if BP's got, let me see, BP's got 3, and yeah, he would definitely probably get overtaken.
Perez closing in on Roscoe. Oh, almost going into the back of Roscoe there into turn 1. Oh, that was awfully tight. Ooh, there wasn't much between those 2 cars there. That could have been a really, really nasty accident, but fortunately nothing bad came from it. Whew. Bring up. Oh, well, there's 6 seconds now for BP. Only 3 cars are left to not get any penalties, those being Plevs and P6, followed by Keegduke in 13th and Powersight in 15th place. Quite impressive, we've gone over the halfway mark now. Not a single retirement so far.
Yeah.
Really nice to see.
All we've just had is just cars go off the road. That's literally about it. Which I'm very amazed about. Oh, there's something else I've noticed too. BP's also low on target for fuel because he's got the yellow icon. So he has to fuel save.
Well, I guess in these sort of conditions it is possible to save a little bit of fuel. Like, you're not pushing the car all the way to its limits. It would help though if there was a VSC or safety car so then you can properly save fuel.
You would need a safety car for that. VSC, it can help you, but I say a safety car helps you more, really, for saving fuel.
Yeah. And just to answer your question, Mr. Broke Vegan, the gap between the top 2 in the championship is currently 24 points.
Roscoe.
So, if Ferrari Pro either A, wins this race, or B, gets second place with fastest lap, he will take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Any lower than that, then he would still be second, but the gap will be reduced quite a bit. And he's currently 3rd at this point, and that will give him 20 points, if I remember right.
If he finishes the 3rd?
20
yes.
points.
Yes, 20 points.
So shrink the gap to 4 points between the top 2 at the end of the round. So we get potentially a really tight finish at Abu Dhabi. But in order for that perfect Hamilton-Verstappen scenario, he would need to finish 2nd with fastest lap, and then they're tied on points. So then it's whoever wins at Abu Dhabi wins the Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors, it seems like Roscoe Arm is 8th at the moment. I think if he scores points at this rate, Alpha will win the Constructors' Championship. We will have to do some quick math at the end of the stream just to double check, but yeah, I think so long as he finishes inside the top 15, inside the points, yeah, Alpha basically wrapped up the championship. McLaren really need to score big. They need to be finishing on the podium, both cars, and they're currently 5th and 6th. Like, that's big points still, but not enough. Andre overtakes Keeg Duke for 13th. So.
Papanellis!
That's really nasty stuff there.
Yeah,
and here comes
squeezed him onto the grass.
Tight stuff. Really tight stuff between those two. It turns 4 and 5. Not much room was given. Say that. But nothing too major has come from it, I'd say. Too major.
Yeah, fair assessment.
40. Still flying. 1 minute 25.255. He's now 14.5 seconds behind BP V8, our race leader. He is gaining rather quickly. Fry Pro, a bit of a lonely third. Vengeance has just left the session. As soon as I flick to him, he DC'd.
Oh. F. You've got the magic touch.
Hey man, been doing this for 2.5 years. Commentator's curse will never go away, ever.
I can relate to that.
Did it to Banana in Formula Endurance. It was funny.
Oh yeah, when he spun out of the S's.
Yeah, it's something he'd rather not remember. So.
Out of his full view, like he just spun.
Yeah, captured it perfectly. It's like one of the few accidents I catch in full. Because typically I'm looking at one part of the racetrack, the accident happens, and I flick to it as quickly as possible, and then I catch it. But with that one, I saw it from start to finish. He's a dear friend of ours, so we can criticize him as much as we like. So it was a bit funny. I didn't laugh obviously during the stream because that would be a bit unprofessional, but I was cackling a little bit inside. Like, it was the first time I looked at him all stream. It was on lap 3 here at Mexico during Formula Endurance, and he crashes. And he brought it up with me as well. He wasn't happy about it. So,
I could imagine.
I cursed him like that, so.
I mean, hey, it's not your fault. It's just, it happens. Just one of those rare scenarios.
The intervals are starting to come back after Vengeance has rejoined the session. He's now down in 5th place, which is a lot better than he probably would have hoped for. Because again, when you DC, the AI tend to slow down quite a lot. But he's now 2.5 seconds behind GeForce Pato. Meanwhile, Powersight's trying to close in on Keeg Duke here into turn 1, looking around the outside into 1. Can't really get it done. He has to stay behind in P15. BP enjoying life out in front. But he's got GeForce Ford closing in. Yeah, that's right.
Ford's got 11.9 seconds to him.
Well, that's just it, isn't it? Like, we got 12 laps to go.
12 laps to go now.
So he needs to close in a second a lap. And if BP tyres stay good enough so then they don't puncture, there might be a genuine contest between these two. Because closing in by a second a lap is no easy task. So, you know.
No, especially with these conditions too.
Yeah. But it's all on, like, a big question mark is with BP's tyres. Like, how good are they? How much life did they have in them still? Is it at all possible to get to the end without the tyres puncturing? Will they have any grip? We don't know. We just have to wait and see. What we do know is that they're 24 laps old. That's the only thing we know. So everyone else is boxed. Except for maybe Key Duke. I don't think he's pitted yet. No, he has. He has. He pitted 2 laps ago.
And I think over the course of that lap, I think he gained about close to a second that lap as well. So yeah, he's showing some good pace.
Also remember as well that 40's tyres will be aging too, so they won't have better grip towards... Well, they will still have better grip, but not to the same level as it is right now. So plenty of factors to consider between these top 2, but what we got is an interesting contest, and we're going to see its climax towards the end of the race. Unless, of course, we get intervened with a safety car or a virtual safety car, which is entirely possible. Still raining, by the way, so we're not going to see dry conditions anytime soon, as BP, well, giving himself another time penalty. Ouch.
Well, I saw that coming, actually, because he cut quite a bit of the S's, I remember, what tracking extended. Oh, so yeah, now Ford closes him to 3 seconds into the gap. Well, he's got the race win.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
I'm sure Fordy would like to close that gap a little bit more so he can try and take the win on track, not just through penalties. Yeah, he's definitely closing in at his second a lap. He closed in more than a second that lap. So he is flying out there at the moment. But I think with the current gaps, BP looks pretty set for second. Yellow flags are about. That's Pato, who has spun 180 degrees.
Oh,
there goes his teammate Plevs. There goes Zach.
Hello there, Zach. Yep. Right. Well, you could also say the fuel saving's probably another part as well, because you still got the yellow icon as well on the telemetry. BP does. So yeah, he crossed himself a bit with that.
Trying to see what's on his little steering wheel there, because they do have the little fuel number near the wheel. As Keeg Duke has retired, crashing out at the arena section, and we have a safety car.
We have a safety car.
Well, there's the intervention.
Ooh.
There's Keeg Duke.
Well then.
Oh, BP doesn't have to worry about fuel too much anymore now, does he?
Nope, not anymore.
And he can pit for fresh tyres too. Mets
5 seconds
speeding.
Mets.
Into the pits he goes for fresh tyres, and look at them. They're almost slick, those intermediates. That's how worn they are. Up towards his pit stall, second last pit stall.
Ford's in 2.
Yeah, look at them. They don't have much tread. 40 goes in too. Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Ferrari Pro's in 2.
So a lot of people are going to take advantage of this.
Yeah. Vengeance comes in.
Plebs is staying out.
Plebs is going to stay out. Fair enough.
Doesn't have a penalty yet.
He doesn't have a penalty.
And he's third now. G4 Zach stays out. Pato stays out. Roscoe stays out. Ferrari Pro is now down in 7th place. That's critical for the sake of the championship.
That's a pretty big loss in track position.
Yeah, from 3rd to 7th, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's on fresh rubber now, but as a lot of us in the league racing community know, there isn't much of a time gain on fresh intermediate tyres compared to, slightly worn or even moderately worn intermediate tyres. There isn't much. So Ferrari Pro has got to take advantage of every 10th he can get out of those tyres. He needs all of it. So, because he doesn't have easy customers to pass in front of him. But Roscoe, GeForce Pato and GeForce Zach, they're not going to be easy. I mean, Plevs, he's looking pretty good now.
Let's see if he has any penalties. I'm going to look at that right now. Or
Nick
warning, I should say.
has just given himself a disqualification for overtaking the safety car and ignoring yellow flags.
Oh, jeez. Alright, well, there you go. Anyways, Plevs has got 2 warnings at the moment. So he's on the edge, at least for the time being.
Rightio. Top 2, they have 9 seconds and 6 seconds worth of penalties respectively. And the longer the safety car stays out, the more it benefits Plebs. Now, really puts him in a race-winning position. So, likes of BP and 4, they really need to put the hammer down when the safety car eventually goes back in the pit lane. Try and build a gap over players. But I'm sure Plebs isn't going to muck around either. He's not going to let those two drive away. I'm going to wait a little while. Got the likes of Mets and Powerside who are a fair way back. Try and catch up. Same with Andre as well. Good 27 seconds behind the next car, which is Bags, who in turn is catching up with Vengeance and his teammate Pump. They're not on the back of the train yet either. Shows you how much this field spread out over the course of this long green flag period. Field really, really spread out. Now we're either doing one more lap behind the safety car or it's coming in now. I think we're doing one more.
Yeah, because of everyone being a little bit, well, a couple of the cars still being too far away.
Yeah. So we'll do one more.
Well, at least the good thing is no late call from it, because otherwise...
Yeah, that could always create a mess.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get to see a safety car restart through the arena section. Oh boy. That's going to be fun. I hope everybody leaves at least a little bit of space to the car in front. Probably be a good idea.
Probably, excuse me. Just don't overtake each other, mainly, though, otherwise they'll create the Magello effect. I remember a race I did a couple weeks ago. It was a realistic race, believe it or not. So the cars were realistic performance, and I was in a Williams, a realistic Williams. I remember it was it raining that? No, I don't think so. Anyway, the leader in second place were coming up to the penultimate corner at turn 13. That's on for it. Safety car was coming in. The guy in second overtook the guy in first, and then that created a legal overtake prompt. The guy in first, that was originally in first, also got a legal overtake prompted. So they were passing one another until they got to the control line, and it created this big cluster. Honestly, Lane, if you were to see it, you'd probably be like lost for words.
Probably.
How shocking it was.
No, it's always infuriating to see.
Yeah, no, it was just. But the thing was, it was literally everyone stalled on the line. That's how bad it was. Because of those two Muppets overtaking one another.
Well, hopefully we don't see that here. The worst we'll probably see here is severe collision penalties because of everyone bunching up. That would be probably the worst we'll see. Right now, safety car's ducking off. Goodbye. Safety car, there it goes, off into the distance. And BP controls the field. You'd be waiting for his moment to set off. Coming out of the penultimate.
That is close there, Ford.
There was a chance for a severe collision penalty there, but we didn't get it. And here we go. We're back on the green flag racing. It's lap 31 of 36. We've got 6 laps to go, and Ferrari Pro has already overtaken Roscoe. See Roscoe trying to stay alongside. Ferrari Pro trying to overtake GeForce Pato. into turn 1. It's tied into the opening corner. Ferrari Pro has the inside line for turn 2, and he gets in front at turn 3. So Ferrari Pro from that restart has already gained 2 places. So very nice restart from him. Plebs trying to look for a move here at turn 4. 40 as well trying to look for a move. But BP maintains the lead.
Contact as well.
Roscoe Hillers battling for position. The exit of turn 5 heading around turn 6. Roscoe keeping his Alfa Romeo there on the outside. Side on the exit, but he has the inside line for turn 7. He'll send it into the left-hander and get in front into P7.
Oh, that's not good for you, Pato.
Yeah, 12 seconds now. Yikes.
Yeah, that's not a good day in the office.
Ferrari Pro looking down the inside into turn 12. A big send from the Ferrari driver. And he's made up 3 places after the restart. An awesome restart for F1 Ferrari Pro from 7th to 4th. Next target will be Plebs in P3. Meanwhile, top 2 are separated by 3/10. Plebs is 7/10 back. All he needs to do, stay close to the top 2 and try and not get any time penalties. Here comes 40 down the inside into turn 1. Contact between the 2. Out of turn 1 towards turn 2. Wheels. Touching some more. Spinning, catching. BP stays in 2nd. Now he drops to 3rd as Plebs takes that position away from him.
You remember when I called him the Great Wall of Hearts? Well, I think that wall just... I was going to say collapsed in that moment. Yeah, he's just tumbled down the order now.
And he's trying to rebuild himself, trying to find a way past Plebs. Not an easy customer to pass, so Mr. Race Spec. And there's Ferrari Pro. Trying to make up as many positions as he can for the sake of the championship. Sparks flying as they head through the middle sector S section out to turn 11. Heading towards the arena section now. The gap is half a second as Hillez gets a 3-second time penalty. It's now 4/10 between P2 and 3. 40's trying to drive away out in first. He's got almost 1.5 seconds to Plebs. Out of turns 14 and 15. Around turn 16. BP, he is close. I don't think he's close enough to attack though. Here down the main straight. 40 trying to pull away some more. Here comes BP. The whole heap of battery with the help of some slipstream as well. He's drawing alongside the McLaren. Down towards turn 1. He has the inside line into the right-hander. Plebs tries to fight though around the outside. He has the inside line for turn 2. Into turn 3, BP has the inside line. Oh, they're bumping, running wide. And here comes Ferrari Pro. He closes onto the back of the Haas as they head towards turn 4. BP right on the back, looking around the outside into turn 4. He has the inside line for turn 5. He'll send it in, get the car in front. Plebs tries to fight it, but he can't do anything. And Ferrari Pro is through into 3rd place. Coming out to turn 6 now, heading towards the S section. It's BP from Ferrari Pro, then Plebs. G-Force Zach is the next car, followed by G-Force Pato. Through the S section they go. Gap is 3.5 between Ferrari Pro and Plebs. Plebs needs to try and keep up as best he can as Vengeance gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Hillez is out of the race. He has crashed out at the S section. And we have a safety car. We have another safety car. With 4 laps to go, we have a safety car.
Well, this has helped Mr. Race Spec.
Massively. He'll be basically guaranteed the win so long as he doesn't get a penalty.
Right. 2-lap shootout. Here we come.
Pretty much.
I think.
I would think so too. That's a 3-second time penalty. He's now got 20 seconds next to his name. At this rate as well, I believe Ferrari Pro will finish in 2nd place at this point. And I think we'll see G-Force Zach on the podium too. He only has 3 seconds next to his name. So... Well, we've seen some pretty interesting scraps between some of these guys. It's been nice to see. Now we're coming up to the finish of this race, and we're going to have a dash to the flag. Field bunch up. We have 2 laps of racing, I reckon.
I probably would agree with you there. Field's already bunched up too. So yeah, now I think we're going with 2 laps.
We'll find out. There it goes.
Ta-da!
So, lap 35 and 36. Those are the 2 laps that will dictate who finishes where in this Mexican Grand Prix. Out in front is G-Force Ford with 9 seconds worth of penalties. He's got BP right behind also with 9 seconds. Ferrari Pro is 3rd with 3. Plebs is 4th with no pens. He's got a good chance of winning this race, so long as he doesn't get any time penalties. We've got G-Force Zach in P5 also with 3 seconds like F1 Ferrari Pro. Out of the final corner. Steps on the gas, G-Force Ford. And we're back on the green flag racing. 2 laps to go. Here comes BP in the slipstream, closing in on the Alpine, down towards turn 1. The gap is 1/10 of a second. BP looking on the racing line. You'll stay on the outside as well.
Oh, they touched wheels.
As
That
40
was close.
stays in front. Contact again at turn 3 as they head down the straightaway towards turn 4.
That's off.
Down towards turn 4. BP not in a position to attack here. Big lock up there into 4. Missing the apex just a little bit. And as a result, he's missed the apex of turn 5. He's lost time to G-Force Ford. Meanwhile, Ferrari Pro in P3. Again, stepping out there at turn 6. Plebs just behind in 4th place. Trying to keep out of trouble. Through the S's. Around turn 9. Through 10 and 11. See their Plebs desperately trying to keep within the lines as BP gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, Plebs is playing this very cautiously, I think. Which is fair enough. I would do the same too. Situation.
Field bunches up through the arena section. They spread out again once they leave it. It's now the final lap, lap 36 of 36. 40's got a 7/10 lead. BP doing his best to keep up, but he's now got 12 seconds worth of penalties. Ferrari Pro in 3rd. He's got a 1-second margin to Plebs. All that Plebs needs to do is keep within the white lines for these final 4.3 kilometers. Meanwhile, Vengeance trying to attack Roscoe through turns 1, 2, and 3. Can't do anything at this point. He's close, but just isn't close enough to try and attack Roscoe here. Around turn 4, around turn 5. Silderfort and Pump changing places around turn 5. Silderfort gets in front into 9th. Down towards the S section for the final time. Through turn 7, then turn 8, then 9, towards 10 and 11. And he keeps them well within the white lines. He is not pushing at all. Gap is now 1.5 seconds between him and Ferrari Pro. The confetti flies as the drivers make their way through the arena section for the final time. It'll be G-Force Ford who will cross the line in 1st. He will not stay there though. He will jump down the order quite a bit. BP will cross the line in 2nd. He won't stay there. Ferrari Pro won't stay in 1st place. That will go to Plebs, the winner of the Mexican Grand Prix by just over 1 second. 40 stays on the podium in 3rd. Was not expecting that. He pulled out a big enough margin to stay on the podium. Credit to him.
Yeah. Close drive of the day. That's actually not a surprise. That's for sure. He gained, what, maybe 10 places over the course of that race?
We'll find out in the final results screen. Plebs takes the victory. Ferrari Pro takes 2nd, and as a result, in the Drivers' Championship, ACW maintains his lead by only 1 point. completing the podium places will be G-Force Ford with that fastest lap point. So, pretty nice finish. Some epic moments throughout that Grand Prix. It was quite nice. And there we are, players from 10th place to victory lane, making up 9 spots over the course of this race here in Mexico. That's why he's been given driver of the day. Outside the podium places, we have G-Force Zach in P4, missing out on the podium by 1/10 of a second. Then Silverfort P5, BP P6, followed by Roscoe in 7th, then Pump in 8th, Andre in 9th, Powersight in 10th, then G-Force Pato P11, Bags Liddell in 12th, Vengeance in P13, Metz in P14, Hillers P15, and our retirees. Oh well, I suppose Hillers is kind of a retiree. He's classified in 15th though, but our proper retirees, Nick and Keeju. Right. I do believe as well they will more than likely wrap up the Constructors' Championship for Alfa Romeo. I will need to do some quick math though. Try and work that out. See if they actually pulled it off. So with the win, 30 points. And whereabouts did Pato finish again?
Let me look based off the penalties. I'm just looking back at the stream right now.
11th. So that will score him 5 points. So it's 35 points for McLaren. And Roscoe finished inside the top 10. He finished 7th, didn't he? Something like that. So, yeah, Alfa Romeo will wrap up the Constructors' Championship 1 round early. But we'll invite the top 3 in. We'll have a chat about what happened over the course of this Grand Prix. We'll be back in a few moments. Top three. That one. Top three. That one. Top 3. That one. Players, Ford, Ferrari Pro. Good. Oh. Hello, Ford. Hello. Hello, Ferrari Pro. Not much. Blue screened at the moment, so you can talk whatever you want. Just be fair enough. I'll be too. Let's see. Plebs would like to join it. Tell you what, actually, we'll go off blue screen. We'll start the interviews now. So we got P2 and P3 in the commentary box at the moment, and there's Plebs P1.
What the fuck? How did I win that?
How did you win that? Well, we'll get to that in a few moments. Nice introduction, by the way.
Sorry, was that live?
That was live.
Apologies.
No, that's fine. I don't blame you. To be honest, that was that. Yeah, we'll get to it, but we'll go from P3. We'll make our way up. So we'll start with you, Mr. Ford. Put on quite a nice show for us. You battling with BP was quite fun to watch. But you seem pretty quick out there, as you normally do. You put the car on pole position with a 14.2. How competitive was that compared to your Formula Endurance lap? I can't remember what your lap was.
I can't remember what endurance was either. I think Zach
was it a 13?
13.9, yeah. So, but then again, that was my that was the second run on that tyre in the middle run. So I feel like I can probably on Tuesday definitely get in a 13.
Yep.
But yeah, mate, that was that race was crazy.
Sounded like it.
Yeah.
But you and BP had a really nice battle out in front. But initially it wasn't a great start for you. BP shot off the line.
Yeah.
Took the lead,
mate.
Down into turn 1.
That is truly the best start I think I've ever come up against. Without a doubt.
In those sort of conditions, yeah, I'd imagine.
like, you look at the road behind me as well, and we all kind of like stayed fairly similar. So it just shows BP got a really good start. It's not on my end that I got a bad one. It was BP truly judged that to perfection. Whatever he did, he was probably about 100 meters by the time we got 200 meters down the straight, and then it would slipstream my caught back up a little bit again. But that was a crazy stop from him. So yeah, it was a bit annoying being behind in the wet. I've already had a lot of that on Tuesday. So yeah, it was, and then the way he defended was absolutely incredible. He put the car exactly where he needed to. It just left me with nothing, which is exactly what he's got to do. So I don't know how I ended up eventually getting past him. I was pretty annoyed when that safety car came out because, I felt like at the end of the race, my fresh tyres would have got his older tyres, but it just meant I had to get the move done the proper way, I guess, again. So yeah, thankfully I think I was running a little bit lower winds, so I had a bit more straight line speed, and that's what got the job done.
Fair enough. But no penalties got at you again.
I got 2 warnings when battling BP. The rest kind of just came around also battling him, but like just following him, trying to get good X's and stuff like that. So yeah, I reckon I could probably get that penalty dropped to 6 if I needed to, but it's not worth it. I think I still finished 3rd anyway, so there's no point. But yeah, other than that, you're right, penalties came back to it again. And yeah, it just came from the pressure BP was putting on me, really. Just me trying to get a good run out of certain corners and stuff like that, and just pushing the car too hard.
Fair enough. Katie, have you got anything to ask Mr. Ford?
Were you feeling very? I probably will soon, but were you feeling very frustrated with being just stuck for so long behind VP?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think my pace was clear as soon as I got past him. How quickly I pulled away, so he definitely would have made that race definitely more exciting. But yeah, that's it. I guess I just had to keep a cool head and try to get past him normally. But yeah, he just defended really well. As I said, he pushed me to areas where I couldn't get past, and just put his car where he needed to. So yeah, it was really frustrating.
But final question, or final 2 rather. You think you'll be here for next week, Mr. Reserve, for Elite?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Next Sunday night, don't think I'm doing anything, so yeah, should be.
How do you think you're going to fare at Abu Dhabi with no assist?
I love Abu Dhabi.
Really?
Back in, if you remember F1 2019, I was really good there. Really good.
Mate, that was ages ago. God, no, I don't remember.
Changed. I don't think I raced it in F1 2020. But yeah, I just think it's a really good track for racing, and no rain, 95% chance, I reckon I'm going to say. Matt's PS5 tends
believe it or not, I did a league race recently where it was intermediate conditions for the first half of the race at Abu Dhabi.
Well,
so it is possible.
Dry, I'll be happy, I think.
And it was dynamic, by the way. It was definitely dynamic. I checked that. It wasn't custom weather. It was dynamic. So it is actually possible to see rain at Abu Dhabi. It is. I've seen it myself. So
I hope I don't see it because
I hope I don't either.
Dry there.
Dry racing 10 times better, just always. But well, no. Congratulations on your performance tonight, Mr. Ford. Best of luck on Tuesday as well, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Cheers, Meg. Thanks, KD.
But we'll move on to P2. Fairly happy P2 for Mr. Ferrari Pro, I'd imagine. You performed quite nicely tonight. You had top 3 speed throughout that race, and you kept penalties to a relative minimum. You only had 3 seconds in the end of the race, and that helped you out. But you came into the party pretty happy, so yeah, I imagine still a bit buzzing now that you're only 1 point behind ACW in the championship.
Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've been in this Elite Series driver pen, but it was a good race. I'm bloody happy with P2, bro. 1 point to ACW in that, which is pretty cool. First title fight, literally, because I've never had this is, I think, my 3rd season of league racing.
Yep.
Last season I got 7th. I don't even know what I got the other one, I think I got 11th or something. But
Right.
I don't know, just to be in the top 3 is pretty cool.
Yep. But Mexico, not one of your favourite racetracks then, from the sounds of things?
It's alright. I can't nail it in the wet. Like I was complaining in the race, like the car's dog shit around here. Like I couldn't rotate it at all.
Yeah.
Especially on the worn, like I preferred my first worn intermediates to my fresher intermediates. I couldn't rotate them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yikes.
So yeah, little bit of work to go on in wet conditions in Mexico, but no, I'm happy to salvage P2.
But, how was that race overall? Like, was it a bit boring, or was it nice to see the top 2 battling constantly and just watching the show? Or how was it?
Yeah, it was a good view on the top 2. Like, I was trying to stick my nose in a little, but I didn't want to really ruin all 3 of our races because we were all so close in that first stint.
Yep.
But it was a good race in my half. I had a good restart on the first restart. Like I mean, very good.
Yep.
And I think that like capitalised. Like was it the first or second? I don't know, but whatever restart it was, I think it capitalised the like ending to the race for me.
Yep. But, KD, have you got anything to ask Ferrari Pro? KD. Hello? That's the KD. Are you there?
He's fallen asleep. The race was that exciting.
Houston, we have a problem. We lost the American. Oh.
Canadian? Isn't he Canadian?
No, he's American. He's from
Oh, he's
California.
American. Oh,
Lives in LA.
Well, lucky you didn't hear that then.
Oh, well, wherever KD is, I hope he's enjoying himself right now. I suppose I'll ask you one final question, Ferrari Pro. Next week we're heading over to Abu Dhabi. How do you feel going into the season finale?
You know, a bit intense, being a championship battle, but no, I'm looking forward to it. I've never done a league race at Abu Dhabi before, so
Really?
Yep. So it's not a big new adventure, but it's pretty. It tends to be a pretty good track for me, just in like time trial and all that.
All right.
That's time trial, so we'll have to see. But
Fair enough.
it should be a good one. But before our end, I just wanted to like say like a shout out to ACW. Like it's not the right way to go out of a race winning transition, I should say, competition with injury. I know how it feels. So yeah, just a shout out to you, bro. I feel your pain.
Well, I certainly hope he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry. The way he broke it to me in the Discord, yeah, he sounded a bit dejected about it, but he should be back for next week. He might be doing a bit of right foot braking, or either that or he'll be trying to do it on the pad for next week. So it's definitely on for Abu Dhabi. You'd have to work around it, but it's on for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd say for your first league racing experience at Abu Dhabi, it's either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a complete ball fest and nothing will happen, or it's going to be drama almost all the way through. Because that's what typically happens at Abu Dhabi on online league racing.
I had a dream the other night, and it was like me and like ACW. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about the title fight, to be honest. And I could just picture me and ACW like literally having like the battle Lewis and Max did, like cleanly. No Michael Massey, of course. But yeah, it's a pretty cool dream actually. One to have in the highlight book.
That's no, with 1 point in it, it's whoever wins it all at Abu Dhabi. So, no, best of luck then for next week, and congratulations on your P2 finish for tonight.
Thank you, Lane, and thank you, KD.
Wherever he may be.
Probably asleep.
Probably. We'll move on to our race winner. Plevs, you came in surprised.
Still surprised.
You've made your emotions quite clear when you entered the party. But victory here in Mexico. Again, you staying penalty 3, paying off big time. But Katie pointed out you were on 2 warnings towards the end.
Oh, I thought I only had one. There you go. Lucky I didn't get another one.
According to him, you had 2. So,
okay.
Well then,
he's probably right. I don't know. I was just trying not to get any, to be honest. So, yeah.
But no, you performed like you usually perform, clean, tidy, and kept out of trouble, and as a result, you took the win. Qualifying probably didn't go your way, did it? Started 10th. How was qualifying?
I didn't. I was nowhere really pace-wise. I was just didn't get the practice in. Obviously, I had a huge weekend and got home, like really with not much time before the race to get up to speed. So yeah, I was just I did probably like 5-6 laps before in time trial, and then went straight in. But yeah, I it took me like those laps to get even into the 14s in time trial. So yeah, I was way off my usual pace in qualifying, and I think starting 10th. And then like I'm like, yeah, it's sweet. I'll get a good start like I usually do and jump some people, and then like Hillers hit me in the at the start of the third sector on the formation lap, and I got reset to grid, so I had cold tyres. I'm like, oh, there goes my usual.
And then you got to experience cold tyres.exe at turn 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
Back end, step it out, took out a DRS board.
Oh, did I? Yeah, there you go. I didn't even notice. I was trying to not die. But yeah, I still got a decent start. I was surprised. I'm like, these tyres are not going to give me anything, and I was still able to get off the line pretty well, and I got up alongside Zach and passed him, I think, in the DRS zone, braking zone rather, and into turn 1. I don't really know position-wise where I was on the exit of turn 3, but then had that moment with the cold tyres, so I had to drop in somewhere, I think behind Roscoe, and I got through. I got underneath him in the hairpin later that lap, descended a little bit. So yeah, and then had to make my way through. I think Zach and Pump were battling pretty hard ahead of me, and they were. I felt like I was quite a bit quicker than them. And yeah, Zach and Pump, I think, made contact in the last corner. I was able to get a good run to get past Zach, and then I made a really good pass on Pump. That was like a really good battle. I don't know if you call that, but yeah, I did like the over and under on him, and we were like side by side for quite a few corners. So yeah, and that's where I thought I'd finished, honestly. Like, I didn't think. I thought maybe people racked up a ridiculous amount of penalties, but like I was so far behind from most people by then. All the guys ahead. So yeah, I think on pace I was probably like 5th or 6th fastest today. So yeah, it's a bit of a Stephen Bradbury win, this one, where the other guys just got penalties and unlucky with the safety cars. It's unusual to have a super late safety car like that in the last 3 laps. It doesn't. I think that's only the second time I've seen.
I reckon if 40 crossed the line to start lap 34, it probably wouldn't have come out. I reckon.
Yeah, right.
Because it's right at the end of 33. So I reckon if he crossed the line to start 34, it probably wouldn't have come out, but it did.
Yeah.
So it bunched the field up again. But no, I'd take it.
Definitely worked out well.
I'd take it.
I'll take it, 100%. Yeah.
I mean,
you got to take them, even if they're kind of undeserved or.
Oh well. Perhaps you did luck into it a little bit, right? But you had no penalties compared to everyone else who did. So, you reap the rewards of keeping it within the white lines. So. Yeah,
that's right. You always got to do that, I reckon, in this game, just because of the late race safety car.
Yeah, and it can screw everyone over who has a pen. So,
yeah,
you didn't have any.
But yeah, I've lucked out of some wins this season. I probably should have a few more than I do. So. Happy to luck into one, which is nice. But yeah, I'm pretty much like I'm not really in the fight with ACW and Ferrari Pro. I think like mathematically I am, but I need to win, and for those guys to finish like 10th or lower or something like ridiculously bad. So yeah, I'm not really a consideration there. But yeah, it's good to see those guys so close with one race to get. One race left, and yeah, I definitely echo what Ferrari Pro said, and hope ACW can make it back for the final round and have that kind of one race for the championship like Max and Lewis. That'd be great. So yeah, maybe we'll have Bailey sit out for that one. I'm not sure, just so those guys can battle it out. I think that'd be fair, to be honest.
Yeah, Bailey, sit out, bro.
No, mate. Like 5 tyre compound challenge, Bailey. That's it.
But yeah.
That's
So I pretty much interviewed myself. Sorry, Lane.
No, you're alright. It's nice. I do less work. It's great. Earth to KD. KD, are you there?
Leb's New Sky.
Are you there? You're there.
Oh, he's here. He woke up. Hey, mate. How you doing?
I'm fine. No, I've got no other questions pretty much from the way it looks. So
Fair enough.
Sweet.
Well,
you can go back to bed then.
You can go back to shoot.
I think I did doze off a little bit, so sorry.
Oh, sorry for the delay, mate. I thought of you afterwards. I'm like, oh, shit, KD. Sorry, brother.
Oh, you're alright, Matt. It happens.
No, nice performance today, Matt. Kept out of trouble and you reaped the rewards as a result. So congrats on the win.
Cheers.
And best of luck on Tuesday as well.
Thanyeah, hopefully. Got pace to find before then.
Oh, well, you'll have time to practice now, won't you? So, get those laps in. So, anyway, folks, I think we can wrap up the stream. Thank you again, KD, for joining me here in the comm box. Your help is always appreciated. But
of course.
You can now go have nap. Go have sleep. Go have shut up. That's no, a nice race for a wet weather race. It was pretty decent. I've definitely seen better wet weather races, but I've definitely seen a lot worse ones. Really boring ones. In this, we had some action throughout, so it was quite good. But with everything finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as there's still plenty of racing to come here for Race Spec Esports. But for Pacific Elite, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator, as always, is KD1997. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 15 of the championship, the final round for Pacific Elite at Yas Marina Circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.